Hi United fans, strap yourselves in and stay locked right here because what we are about to dive into could genuinely shape the direction of Manchester United for years to come. This is not small talk. A midfield rebuild is coming, big names are being lined up and there's growing uncertainty around some of United's biggest stars. Stay with me because this is one of the most important updates of the summer. Let's start with the biggest question facing Manchester United right now. Who replaces Casemiro? The Brazilian midfielder looks set to leave the club when his contract expires at the end of the season. He's been a warrior in midfield, bringing experience, leadership and winning mentality. But football moves fast and United are already preparing for life after him. Now reports suggest the club is not just looking for one replacement, they actually want two new midfielders. And the shortlist is already taking shape. Names like Sandro Tonali, Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson have all been tracked closely. These are players with energy, intelligence and the ability to control games, exactly what United need in a modern midfield. But now one name has moved ahead of all the others, Bruno Guimaraes. The Newcastle United captain has emerged as United's #1 target, and here's why this is such a big opportunity. Guimaraes reportedly has a gentleman's agreement with Newcastle that could allow him to leave this summer. That has put Manchester United on high alert. The expected price, around £60.8 million, a figure United believe is affordable. That's key. Because in today's market, finding a proven Premier League midfielder with leadership qualities at that price is rare. Guimaraes brings everything. He can defend, attack, control tempo and lead the team. He's already proven in England and that makes him a perfect fit for the Premier League. If United can pull this off, it could be one of the smartest signings of the window. But the story doesn't end there. Another huge name has now entered the conversation, Eduardo Camavinga. Reports claim Manchester United are seriously considering a move for the Real Madrid midfielder. At just 22 years old, Camavinga is already one of the most talented young players in world football. Madrid could be willing to listen to offers above £43 million, and that's caught United's attention. Imagine that midfield, Guimaraes and Camavinga. Experience and youth, control and energy. That's the kind of rebuild United fans have been waiting for. But while the club looks forward, there are also major decisions being made about players leaving. Let's talk about Jadon Sancho. According to reports, it's now 100% confirmed Sancho will leave Manchester United this summer. There's no going back. The relationship is over and the club is ready to move on. And here's the twist. Borussia Dortmund want him back. Talks have already taken place and the club's CEO is personally pushing to bring Sancho back to Germany. Sancho knows the club, the system and the fans. It could be the perfect reset for his career. But Dortmund are not alone. There are multiple clubs asking about him, which means United could spark a bidding war and bring in some valuable funds. Now let's move to another situation that's still unclear. Marcus Rashford. After joining Barcelona on loan, many expected him to revive his career in Spain, but things haven't gone exactly to plan. In the latest match, he played just 8 minutes off the bench. That tells you everything about his current role in the squad. Barcelona do have an option to buy him for £26 million, but the decision is still up in the air. Manager Hansi Flick has admitted that nothing is certain and that they will decide at the end of the season. That means Rashford's future is wide open again. He could stay at Barcelona, he could return to Manchester United, or he could move to another Premier League club, with Arsenal and Chelsea both linked. It's a situation United will be watching very closely. Now, away from transfers for a moment, there's an interesting development regarding the manager's position. Right now, Michael Carrick is in charge on an interim basis, and he's doing an incredible job. In just 10 games, he's won 7, drawn 2, and lost only once. Those results have pushed United up to 3rd place in the Premier League, putting them in a strong position to qualify for the Champions League. And here's the surprising part. Reports suggest that United have not approached any other managers for the permanent role. That means Carrick is giving the club something to think about. If he continues this form, could he actually be given the job full-time? It's a real possibility. Now it's over to you, United fans. Who should replace Casemiro, Guimaraes or Camavinga? Should Carrick be given the job permanently? And what should happen with Rashford? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to United Focus for more daily updates, breaking news and full transfer breakdowns elsewhere. Manchester United are accelerating contract talks with Harry Maguire, and the message coming out of Old Trafford is as clear and as unambiguous as anything that has been communicated by this club in the transfer market for a very long time. They want to keep him. He wants to stay. And the performances he has produced under Michael Carrick this season have made the decision not just desirable but absolutely necessary for a club that is building something real and building something sustainable at Old Trafford for the first time since the Ferguson era ended. Let us put the Maguire story into its full and proper context, because 12 months ago the conversation around Harry Maguire at Manchester United was a very different and a very uncomfortable one. Questions about his quality, questions about his suitability for a club with Champions League ambitions, questions about whether the £50 million United paid Leicester City for him back in 2019 represented one of the most embarrassing pieces of transfer business in modern football history. The social media abuse, the mockery, the memes. A period in his career where his confidence appeared visibly shaken and where every mistake was amplified and every good performance was minimised by a section of the footballing world that had decided the narrative and was not interested in the evidence that contradicted it. And then Michael Carrick arrived at Manchester United in January 2026. And everything changed. Under Carrick's management, Maguire has been transformed, not as a player because the quality was always there, but as a performer in an environment that finally understands him, trusts him, and deploys him in a system that allows his strengths to be expressed clearly and consistently. The partnership with Lisandro Martinez at centre-back has been one of the defining and most impressive aspects of Carrick's entire rebuild, with the combination of Maguire's aerial dominance, his organisational intelligence, and his leadership in the defensive unit complementing Martinez's aggression, his recovery pace, and his ability to defend one-on-one in the most demanding moments of games. Together they have given United a defensive foundation that has been integral to the results that have transformed the club's entire season. Former Manchester United chief scout Mick Brown was direct and unequivocal in his assessment of the situation when speaking to Football Insider this week. United have no choice but to keep Maguire, Brown said. They have to be doing everything in their power to secure his future beyond this summer. The performances he has put in under Carrick have proven beyond any reasonable doubt how important he can be for this club, and losing him on a free transfer at the end of his contract would be not just a significant blow to the squad, but a genuinely silly piece of business for a club that prides itself on making intelligent decisions under the new Ineos ownership structure. Brown also addressed the incident that gave even Maguire's most passionate supporters a moment of genuine concern, the late red card against Bournemouth, where the defender shoved Evanilson in the penalty area to concede both a sending-off and a spot kick that cost United the win in what had been an otherwise solid performance. Brown described the decision as crazy, a word that captures perfectly the combination of disbelief and frustration that the moment generated, but crucially placed that single incident in the context of a season full of consistently excellent performances rather than allowing it to define the entire narrative of Maguire's campaign. One error in a season of otherwise outstanding contributions is not a reason to let a player leave. It is a reason to work with him on the specific trigger that caused the lapse in judgment and to continue backing the overall quality that the rest of the season has demonstrated so clearly. The contract negotiations are progressing well, and the expectation is that a new deal will be finalised before the summer transfer window opens. Fabrizio Romano's earlier report suggested a contract running until June 2027 with an option to extend into 2028, terms that reflect both Maguire's age at 33 and the genuine quality he continues to produce at that age. The length and the financial structure of the deal will need to balance the club's desire to lock in an important player against the reality of managing wages for a defender who is in the final phase of his career, but all indications suggest both parties are motivated to find an agreement quickly and without drama. The clubs circling on the periphery of this situation are a reminder of exactly what United would be giving away if they allowed Maguire to leave as a free agent this summer. Everton have been monitoring the situation closely, with David Moyes having shown genuine interest in signing Maguire when he was at West Ham, and the possibility of reviving that interest if the defender becomes available at no transfer cost, being something the Toffees would find extremely appealing as they plan their own squad for next season. West Ham themselves have also been linked with reigniting their previous pursuit, particularly given their need to strengthen defensively if they secure Premier League survival this season. The thought of Harry Maguire walking into any of these clubs having been released by United on a free transfer should be enough to focus every mind at Old Trafford on getting this contract done as quickly as possible. The broader significance of keeping Maguire extends beyond his contributions on the pitch, important as those are. It is about the message it sends to the dressing room. It is about the culture that Carrick is building, where players who give everything for the club, who lead by example, who produce consistently at the required level, are rewarded with the security and the respect their performances deserve. Losing Casemiro at the end of the season is already a significant blow in terms of experience and leadership being removed from the squad. Losing Maguire simultaneously would create a void of experienced voices and senior personalities that a young squad like this one would find genuinely difficult to compensate for overnight. Mick Brown touched on exactly this point when he described the importance of Maguire's experience and leadership qualities, not just for the starting lineup, but for the younger players around him who benefit from his presence, his communication, and his understanding of what it means to perform at the highest level under the pressure that comes with wearing a Manchester United shirt. Kobbie Mainoo, Lenny Yoro, Aidan Heaven. All of these players have developed and grown in an environment where Maguire's experience and his standards are part of the daily fabric of the dressing room. That kind of influence is impossible to quantify in statistics, but is recognised immediately by any manager who understands the dynamics of a high-performing squad. There was never really a feeling that either Maguire or the club wanted to part ways at the end of this season, Brown confirmed, and that mutual desire to continue the relationship is the most important foundation for any successful contract negotiation. When both parties genuinely want the same outcome, the conversation becomes about details rather than direction. And the details in this case, the length, the wages, the option years, are all very much within the range of what a sensible agreement can accommodate. Carrick has been building something at this club that has the potential to be genuinely transformative if it is allowed to continue and if it is supported with the right decisions in the transfer market this summer. Keeping Maguire is one of those right decisions. It is not the most glamorous signing United will make this summer. It will not generate the kind of excitement that a Bruno Guimaraes or an Eduardo Camavinga arriving at Old Trafford will produce. But it is one of the most important pieces of business the club can conduct between now and August because it protects the foundation that has made everything else possible.